everyone, thank you for joining me. Today I am going to try to figure out how to make, I saw somebody do, it was like ticket flip on her page, and I will link her down in the description box. I think it's Fun Life on a Budget. She made a beautiful journal, and she's got some really terrific ideas, so I'm kind of like adapting her idea to this page, and I'm not sure yet which order I want these tags, but basically it's folded on one end so that it opens up. I think she glued something here to make it into a tuck spot. I didn't see that part of the video yet. And then she glued, a page over this so that I won't have just this white background. Even though, it's pretty, but, it's either this page or this page. I don't want to do it here because I need something to cover this, the fold. So that's why I'm deciding to do it here, because then I can put something down to cover the fold. So let's get started. That is my plan. Oh, I got this over there. Excuse me. See, and I did this one upside down because it looked like it was right side up. So then when I sewed this in, this little lace in, and then I closed it, and I'm like, oops. So I'll be putting something over this to hide that boo-boo. What I need to do is determine how long I want it, plus give it a 1/4 inch, and then I determine how, what is this, wide? Is this wide? Yeah. Okay, so I know my page is like 5.5. I probably want it 5 inches. That's what I've been doing for everything. And it's going to be cutting it pretty close to that turn, this thing, the crease. So if I do it at 4.5, let me write that down, 4 1/2, plus give it a 1/4, so it's 1.75, right? Okay, let's get this in and see if it's the right size. So 4 3/4. 4 3/4. And then I'm going to score this because this is, the cardboardish cardstock, and I don't want to mess it up when I fold it. And I'm just going to stick it anywhere just to get a 1/4 inch. Is that a 1/4 inch? Yes. You could almost do a 1/2 inch because that does look really thin. Well, let's see if it'll fit on my page. Yeah, I think that'll work. Then I just have to decide this way. So let me do that part first. Let me get you off. So 6 inches, 6 inches. So then we're gonna do, let's give it that extra. So let's do 5 inches because I wanna fold it under a 1/2 inch. So I know I have enough to glue. Circle part out, and we're going to do it at 5 inches. And we're going to score at a half. Well, I really should go ahead and measure how far I want these. Let's see. And I thought it might be neat if it was like cascading, so I can do one over the other. It doesn't, you know, instead of butting one up against or space. I think it'd be cute if it kind of covered it a bit. So then that's going to be another mathematical challenge for me. Eesh. So 7 3/4 is what I'm working with. 7 3/4 is what I'm working with. And I'm going to have to get the calculator to divide that by 3, and then I'm going to add a little bit extra so that it'll cascade over, and I'll be right back after I get the calculator. Okay, what I went to was using some scrap paper to figure it out, because you know when it says things like 2.66 and 2.58, my brain doesn't compute that anymore. So what I did, I just went ahead and measured first 3 inches. That was too long, and then I went ahead and cut it down to 2 3/4 inches. That was a little bit too short, so I ended up cutting these at 2 7/8. I figure if I lay it just right, then it'll have a nice overlap. You know, just a little bit of an overlap, and still fit on the page. I would have to, you know, mark these so that I do it right. But that way it's a little bit of an overlap. And so, ooh, wait, I wonder if that'll impede opening them. Well, that's gonna be under the page. That ain't gonna work, will it? Oh, I'd have to do it just right. I'd have to make sure I have these situated before I glue them down. Otherwise it's going to interfere. And what I'm talking about is, I was just going to, you know, glue this, glue this here, and then overlap it. That doesn't interfere, and that doesn't interfere. Okay, so make sure I start with the bottom one first. Remind me, start with the bottom one first. That way we can get the overlap, and it won't. Otherwise, you do this, and well, you can't obviously do that. It's going to do it wrong. Okay, so that one. Do the bottom first, once I figure out what my background page is going to be. Now what she did was punch, to make it look cute, she punched it to make it look like it was a ticket. Let me see if I can punch through. She had trouble going through 2 layers too, so I bet you I will. It doesn't want to go in there. Come on. Let's see if... And this is just going to be eyeballing. Oh, it did it. Amazing. Maybe I have thinner cardstock than she used. And just going to eyeball. So that's what it's going to look like. I think that's cuter than just, you know, the rectangle. So I really liked her idea. And then I'm just going to go ahead and punch the rest and edge these, and I'll be right back. Okay, while I was inking, I was thinking. And that can be dangerous sometimes, because this is just another thing I got to figure out. But I thought, why just have that, you know, and then just kind of a page. What if I make it a little bit more exciting and another pocket kind of a thing? So I thought, I went ahead, I hadn't even opened the box to this yet. I looked at some of my other things, and they were, so I thought I can do this. I'm gonna have to trim this, which I'm gonna have to trim anyway, because I want this to be the opening because these are, well, that would have been too hard to get in. But yeah, since it's there, it's going to be hard to pull out. So I started covering these up and making this the new opening. I'm going to cover this. I can glue it down on 3 sides and make that a tuck spot. They've got writing space here, and a tuck spot, and writing space there. And I'm gonna put a little thing there so I can put a little thin tag in there. So I think that is my plan. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera because you know it's gonna take me a minute, but I explained it. So hopefully it made sense, and I'm gonna remember to glue this one down first and then layer these on top so that there's no problem opening them up. Okay, and then like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna glue a piece of decorative paper here to cover all of this. Oh, get there. Not necessarily this one, but I'm gonna cover all of that. Okay, and then I'm gonna trim off the edge here, and I can cover this because this also will hide that glue spot and it'll make it a tuck. Okay, whoops. So I will be right back. Well, I won't be right back, but I'll be back. Okay, so what I've done so far, I went ahead and spaced these out first, and I drew a little line so that I knew where to glue them, and then I just erased them. But that's how it's opening up. And I went in and put some washi tape there just to give it some added, you know, strength for all the flipping out needs. And then I went ahead and have some old music paper. I measured up. I wanted to add the 1/4 inch so that I can fold it in so that it'll, you know, give it a little room so that you can tuck something in, because sometimes these get a little tight. Either way is fine, you know, just depending. But with my experience, some of my stuff, if I don't put that little flap on it, it gets really tight. I measured from here to here basically, which is 3.5, because if it went up over here, you know, where I cut out, I figured it would look funny. So that's where this came in. And then of course I measured, kind of like centered it on either side so you can still see the decoration in the back. And I chose this because this is neutral and there's already a lot of color going on, so I figured just go with something neutral, and then it wouldn't get too messy or too cluttered. I'm not sure what the right word is. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold these in. I'm gonna ink them up, and I may go ahead and cut a little notch in there and glue them down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. I went ahead and have those glued down. And what I did to get the holes all in the same lineup, I went ahead and laid all 3 pages on top of each other and then punched them all out at once. Otherwise, my holes would be all over the place. And it was able to go ahead and punch through just fine. So these are ready to go ahead and put something in. Now I have this left over from a kit, and I don't know which way. Okay, it's this way, right side up. And I don't really have to. I could just leave this as a writing space, but since I have it, I might as well go ahead and use it. And I figure, you know, that'll hide those in case somebody doesn't like them. And this will give them lines so that they can write on. And, you know, it won't take away from anything. This will be cute. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down to here, and then I'll be back. Okay, I went ahead and glued it down. So now what I'm gonna do is cut off this edge, because that's the closed edge. We want this to be where it opens. I had to measure where I wanted it on my page. I wanted it away a little bit from that centerpiece because, you know, that's going to get really squished. So I just kind of marked it there, figuring that'd be a good spot to have the opening. And let's see. Get that up. Woo! A little bit tough. So now that is an opening. I'm like, oh, it doesn't look right. Okay. And to make it look more like an opening, I think I might go ahead and punch a little hole in here. This is my 1.5 inch. I used a 1 inch on these because, you know, it's small. So, oh, let's do it this way. I just kind of have to eyeball it a little bit, make sure everything's straight. That just helps. Straight, straight. Figuring good enough. I'm not even sure where it's gonna cut, but I like it better when the circle's here so you know where your circle is. But that looks good. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and ink it. And then I'm going to, well, let me go ahead. I'm going to cover this first. That way I can bend this back, or if I need to get things out of the way before I glue it down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find something to cover this up. Okay, so far so good. What I have finished is I've got these attached. And then I've made this into a pocket, and they can write on that, of course. And then I decorated here, and I punched out here to open that up. And then I made this into a little tuck spot. I'm still waiting for it to dry. And then what I think I might do is, maybe if I feel like it might come undone, I might run a stitch down here just to help secure it. But you've got writing space, and they've got tuck spots. They can put pictures over this if they want, you know, and that's it for now. Next I will work on something to put in here in these little tuck spots and decorate this up a bit, but I need to go eat first. Okay, so hang in there. Okay, I think I finally have it finished. So to kill some time, I went ahead and decorated each of these little tabs. Well, where are they? Tickets. Yeah, tickets. And then I've got a little thing in here. So this one I went ahead and put a butterfly and a little quote. And another little ephemera piece. And the same down here. Just another little ephemera piece. Something to write on. Tuck spot. And then I made this a tuck spot, and I went ahead and decorated this with some stamping. Just put a little bit of pink lace there to match. And that is it. I think this page alone weighs a pound. So, hopefully that'll give you some ideas of what you can do with your journals. And I hope you enjoyed this, and have a happy day and happy crafting. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.